Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehardyconstruction with your host, Alex.
Princess Playa.
And
Thea.
today's episode is about American Horror Story. So what do we call this show, Danny?
What was it? The nasty little... What the fuck did I call it?
The Mossy Bank.
No, but there was another one. They said
Was there a new one?
They said a new one.
Good
Oh,
job,
God.
Danny.
You
want to wait on it and think
We'll call
about
it the
it?
Mossy Bank until I reiterate it.
What a fuck up you are. So anyway, we're covering the first 8 episodes of American Horror Story Coven, which started out, I guess, 9 weeks ago? Yes.
9 episodes ago, so I was...
It was on October 9th it premiered.
I think it's 8 episodes so far.
No, it's 9 episodes. What are you?
We
What
are...
are you, stupid?
No, 9 episodes in, yeah.
Whoa.
Come on, Alex.
Boy, I was waiting for you to get faced right there. So, American Horror Story Coven. Thea, lay out what the storyline is for this show. Succinctly.
So it's about 300 years after the Salem witch trials,
Mhm.
and it's following a small coven in New Orleans. Sarah Paulson's character Cordelia is the head of the coven, and there are 4 girls that are the coven witches.
And it's almost like a dark version of Harry Potter without all the crazy nice parts of it, right? Is that what
They
it
even
is?
got the same kind of hairstyles. The girl Myrtle, her hair is totally like out of Harry Potter.
Word?
So the show stars Jessica Lange as Fiona Good, Sarah Paulson as Cordelia. Her last name's Fox. Ugh. It also has Thaisa Farmiga, who played...
You don't like Fox?
No, it's spelled with 2 X's, and it kind of threw me off.
Oh
reading that.
no.
I know, it's like what? There's also I was totally waiting for
Tessa?
that R. Yeah, Thaisa.
Isn't
How
it
do you
just
say
Tessa?
Tessa?
Oh.
Really?
Tesla. He's
Well,
a scientist.
her parents really spelled her name like an asshole.
Nikola Tesla, Zoe Benson.
Thaisa Farmiga, who plays Zoe in this one, she was the daughter in the first season of American Horror Story, which Danny did not watch, but I guess since it's an anthology, doesn't matter. She's completely different in this show, which I like. Evan Peters is back, and he's playing... Who's he playing? Wait, did she play Zoe in
Kyle
the first one, or
Spencer.
she's Zoe
Which
in this
one is Evan Peters?
Evan
There's
Peters
so many
played Kit
names.
Walker in the second season.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway,
Yeah,
it
plays
started...
Frankenstein.
Yes,
Yeah,
basically.
he plays Frankenstein this season.
So with this show, what are we looking at within this first episode? How, did they really go off the rails with the first episode of this season? Because it kind of promised a lot, and so far it's delivering for me. But what do you guys think about it so far?
Thea, you first or me first?
Thea.
I'll go first. I really liked the opening. Like, I was immediately drawn in by everybody.
Okay.
And obviously, like, Fiona's perfect and badass, and Jessica Lange is always perfect.
Yeah, she's always.
I'm
sorry. She's
really
always
like,
playing like an asshole. Go ahead.
I really like Kathy Bates and
Of course.
Angela Bassett this season. Both of them are really awesome.
Yeah, I think so far.
Kathy
everything-
Bates is awesome.
Kathy Bates is really good, and it's funny how they're. Do you think it's kind of kooky that they're making this racial and evil character likable and funny, or is that just something that kind of happens because of the actor?
I mean, isn't that always the case with races?
I guess so. You end up loving all of that. David Duke, man, like I'd love to have some beers.
Yeah, I mean, the KKK is kind of cute when you break it down.
Right?
White ghosts. If you can you imagine like the KKKs hanging around, and then you dress up in a yellow suit and chase them and try to eat them like Pac-Man? It'd be so cute. So anyway,
Oh, by the way, the name of this episode is The Vicious Little Gash.
yes, that's what the season is
Oh,
called.
yeah.
American Horror Story. So Fiona Good is the head of a coven of witches, and she's a woman who's obsessed with retaining her youth by any means possible. We find out in the first episode that she actually can suck the life out of people and retain her youth for about 15 minutes, or not even.
I
like
wish she
10
did that
seconds,
more
right?
often.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool effect because she killed the only Asian guy that lived over in that area, and that's it.
Mhm.
But she's able to do that. She's fighting cancer, which we find out later on, and her daughter is, I guess, second in command, who's played by Sarah Paulson, and
I like their roles together because last time it was like you know, like she's like the warden in this fucking crazy asylum, and then she's just like this victim, and it was cool, like what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Lange is sort of playing variations of the same character, but she's still good regardless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Oh yeah, they're definitely like sort of variations on a
She's
theme.
good at being a bitch.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the
She's
first
good at
one,
being-
but I heard
I've
she
only
was
seen.
good.
I think I've only seen one Jessica Lange film, and she was playing a nice girl. So, but that
Is
was
it
like
Lang or
She's
Lane?
in
Oh, two.
Tootsie.
Oh, I did. I saw her. Well, you're the only one that saw it out of this group, and I think she was in King Kong, 1970 something. And
Really?
That had really.
Is she King Kong? Is she in an
is.
outfit?
She played King Kong.
She just,
Wow.
just picks up a girl, falls off the building. It's pretty funny.
See, I told you she was good at being a bitch.
It was a
Kong's the ultimate bitch.
transformation.
But that King Kong, though, seriously, if you watch the 70s one, it has one of the worst special effects I've ever seen in the history of film. It's really horrible. So
I
anyway,
don't.
the four girls that go and live at this coven. Well, there's one that we introduced to. Who is Taisa playing in this one? What's her name in this one?
Who is John Galt?
Zoe. She plays Zoe.
She's playing Zoe because I'm looking at the IMDb and it has some of the names from the other seasons, so it's kind of throwing me
Yeah.
off. So Zoe is there. Zoe, we found out, is sort of like Rogue from X-Men, where she can try to get some finger action going on, but it's not good business. So she tries to have sex
Instead of sucking the powers out of them, she makes blood come out of their eyes.
Yeah, that's the kind of ejection.
So that's fun too.
I mean, that's pretty sexy. Like, that's a turn on.
That's not the body fluid a guy would expect to come out of them after having sex with a girl. So
Changes it up, you know, it's something new.
They come inside her and she queefs out blood.
He had to fit it in there somehow. He did it. So anyway, she has sex with a boy. I think that she's trying to lose her virginity. She ends up giving him an aneurysm. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out from her mother that she is witchcraft, or the bloodline of a witch is born into. You're born into it. It's not necessarily you learn it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think it's kind of muddied that some of the we find out from.
This is basically like Xavier's school for mutants or whatever. Like they have the power. They have these powers, but they teach them how to like control them. And
it's most definitely a dark version of a superhero show. It's like a dark version of X-Men. So we're introduced then to three other characters. One is played by Gabby Sidibe. Is that her name?
It is, yes.
I actually met that girl. She's from the movie Precious. And a funny side story. I met her roommate, and her roommate was like, "Oh, can you do a painting for us? Because we want to hang it up in our house because Oprah's gonna come over and interview her."
What?
So I did that, and another friend did the graffiti for the painting because it's supposed to be a couple of people sitting on a stoop, and then he did the graffiti. It's really one of the worst paintings I've ever done in my life. And
well, that's probably why you didn't get a call from Oprah.
So anyway, the funny part is her roommate is this quite effeminate gentleman, and the guy that I worked with, I guess, is not comfortable. I didn't know him. He's not my friend. But he met him, and the guy grabbed his hand in a very suggestive manner, and then he kind of just ran out the way. So they decided to hang up.
He doesn't deserve the fame, then.
I don't know who the guy was. So they hung up the painting, and Oprah's interview with her lasted about 2 minutes, and you never even saw the painting. So that's fun.
That probably
Anyway,
would have gone longer if that painting wasn't in the background.
Yeah, I met her at the club. I met her at some club, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see Precious."
Is she really that big in real life?
Yeah.
Huh.
Damn, what do you think it is? Fucking people from that sci-fi channel add layers to her or something? She really is.
No, I really thought maybe I don't know. I thought maybe it was like a suit.
Danny, she's
big.
a human.
I'm not even trying to be mean.
She's a
just
human
real
being, Danny.
healthy.
We don't talk about size here, right, Thea?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
I'm not trying to be mean.
Gabby Sidibe is the
she
only.
seems like very.
All right,
like,
Dan, we get
like
it. You
have a heart
care
attack.
about people. So she plays she's the lone African American character that's in that coven, and she has the power to be basically a human voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who are the other girls with them?
We got Lindsay Lohan.
Yes, basically.
Right. Madison Montgomery, who's played by Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts.
Who's, like Julia Roberts' niece.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah. Because she's Eric
No,
Roberts.
that's it.
Eric Roberts' daughter. Eric Roberts, who's famously from the mafia guy that they threw
I didn't
out
know
the
that. That's
window.
weird.
Yeah, from Dark Knight. Julia Roberts doesn't have a relationship with her brother, but she's cool with her. Not that anybody gives a shit. It's funny in real life. Did you know that she got into a fight with Evan Peters and punched him, fucked him up? Kind of like how Chris Brown beat up Rihanna.
Like during the show?
No, in real
I
life.
like the way you say Rihanna.
In real life, she actually beat the shit out of Evan Peters, and he went back with her.
Oh. Wow.
Evan Peters is a little bitch. But Anyway, so who else is there? There's also the.
We got the husband of Cordelia.
No, the two other girls. Danny,
who's
Danny, the other two girls, please. The two other girls that are there with them.
Oh, two other girls. We got the Nan, who is
Jamie
she has
Byrne?
Down syndrome, but she's
Is she?
psychic, like she could hear people's thoughts.
Yeah, and who else?
Who else do
I
we
think
have?
That's it. Oh, anyway, that's so
In
those
the
are
house?
four
That's
girls.
it in the house.
So
and then we have creepy.
We got
creepy butler.
The creepy butler Hanson, who very surprisingly, a girl from our Tumblr, Miss Random Fandom, said that she thought he was strangely sexy. So anyway, I thought he looked like.
What's wrong with you, Miss Random Fandom?
I thought he looked like Hanson from Scary Movie 2, but that's just me. And
He does. He looks exactly like him.
I like that they called him Riff Raff. I like the cultural references.
Oh, yeah, it's totally. There's clicking a lot of stuff on the show. There's also Evan Peters is on the show again. He played Kit Walker in season 2, and he plays a football jock that gets a heinous thing that happens to him. He's kind of put back together as a Frankenstein kind of character. Kind of wasting his character a little bit, but I guess they were just waiting.
It's kind of shitty.
It's kind of interesting how.
That's my least favorite part of this season.
So far,
I kind of like it. I hope that they'll wrap it up good. My least favorite part is actually the husband, Cordelia's husband.
Okay, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it as much.
You know what I think the problem is with this show, or at least based on the second season? I didn't see the first season, but it's like they have all these great ideas and they try to shove them and force them all into one season, and it's like not all the ideas make sense together.
I think they're slowly getting the plot shit together in this season so far, because it seems like there's a cohesive thing going on instead of the first season. There was basically no plot, and the ending showed. The ending was horrendous.
They have too many ideas.
Right. The second season has a good plot, but it still kind of falters.
Honestly, what was the plot of the second season? Because I could tell you 4 different things.
It shifts.
Alien abduction.
There were several different plots, but it was clearer than it was first season, for sure.
The second season.
But they didn't wrap them up. It's like, is it about aliens?
It kind of just ended, right? I think what they were
Nazis?
doing, they were kind of just throwing everything at the wall, and then they just like, towards the end of it, then they decided to focus mainly on Sarah Paulson's character and finish her storyline, and then bring in Dylan McDermott out of nowhere for like the last 10 minutes. So with this season, it seems like the plot actually has a momentum and a reason. I don't necessarily like the way they're going, because I mean, you have to keep the show fresh the way it is, because from how the show went, we had to deal with Sarah Paulson's husband is actually a witch hunter, and he was sent there to do, what was it, to be like reconnaissance work, right, to find out who they are,
to like infiltrate the Coven and then eventually kill them all, I assume.
Yeah, because they're apparently in the show and it's
a double back. Because at first we think he's working for the voodoo girl, whatever, I can't think of her name, the voodoo queen.
Marie Laveau.
Laveau, who's played by...
But when we find out he's actually going to double-cross her, too, and it's cool. I mean, it's cool, it's just like, I don't understand. I don't like when there's, like, movies or shows where, like, everything's great, and then all of a sudden, like, they randomly introduce this new thing, and that's suddenly, like, the biggest part of the show or something.
I think they just do that just to keep the plot fresh, to kind of give it a turn, and then you're like, okay, we're watching something new. You know what I mean? I guess that's how they do it.
Yeah, but they could have done it more gracefully.
It's very soap opera-ish. There's no question that it's very soap opera-ish. But
I like this show a lot, actually.
Me too.
It's just, and I like this season way better than last season, but still.
I still love last season better.
Okay.
It didn't make any sense in the end. It's like all of a sudden it's like a hippie commune where Kit's like has like 3 wives and there's aliens and we never find out about the mutants, and I don't know. It's about like Antichrist or what is it? Like
so how the show originally is set up is basically it's witches versus a couple of practitioners of voodoo. Voodoo, right? Who by Marie Laveau is played by Angela Bassett, and she's actually she's a very old woman, but she has.
She's badass.
She's awesome, man. She's great. She really still looks young, which is very.
She looks amazing.
She should have been. I've always thought she should have been Storm in the X-Men movies, but they went with the.
Better that would be awesome.
They went with the better actor.
That would have been wicked, actually.
Halle Berry was such a better actor, so that's why they chose her. Anyway,
Halle Berry is just amazing.
The original thing is that Angela Bassett's character Marie Laveau had a history with Kathy Bates's character, who was. Kind of an asshole, so to speak.
Kind of an asshole is putting it lightly.
Really, but no, you do end up liking her though. It's weird.
Yeah. She tortured all her slaves, and she's just a real piece of garbage.
Yeah, eventually you're just like, you lovable little racist.
Yeah, once you eat that cheeseburger.
The thing is, like, I think they're a little unclear. She's not like a witch though. Like, is she? Like, she?
No.
I mean, she might like know about witches.
No, Kathy Bates' character is not a witch.
Right.
The only thing that was confusing was when she was sort of using like the blood as
as the
anti-aging stuff, I guess.
Yeah, she was kind of doing a spell using like specific kidney blood or what pancreas.
But I think that was just creepy shit, kind of like Elizabeth Bathory style, rather.
So we
than
can list
witchery.
out the plot points. The original plot points I would see would be the witches versus the Haitians, excuse me, the voodoo people. The second one is obviously Fiona trying to get the information out of Marie Laveau of how to keep this immortality.
She's trying to figure out who's the next Supreme so that she can kill that person and then retain her.
But also
health
by getting
and
Kathy
beauty.
Bates's how she was buried underground and stay immortal all this time. That's what that's another thing. The other one was obviously the Frankensteining of Evan Peters' character and their love affair, which turned into a threesome between.
Ugh.
Although now you didn't like that, I guess. I see you didn't.
You don't like that part, yeah?
It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
It felt kind of like, they just kind of throwing.
I was
this
like,
in to
really?
sex it up.
But that Emma Roberts is so hot. I don't mind.
Yeah, I was kind of into the show. It's so funny because I can't separate an actor from their character, I guess. I was kind of like, she's an asshole for beating up Evan Peters in real life, and then she was like hot in the show. I was like, she's hot, so I guess I don't care.
But also still an asshole. So.
Yeah, she is an
So
asshole.
she beat him up in real life, but
Yeah.
then they're having them date in this show.
Yeah, the show
That must be awkward.
The show was filmed before any of that happened, but I think that
Poor guy.
I guess that pussy must be too bomb. She must be hot to hang out with. But now it seems like the plot is the witches are teaming up with Marie Laveau to fight the witch hunters, which I really don't give a shit about the witch hunters because now it kind of forces. You know what I mean? Now it forces villains
I don't know.
out of nowhere.
Depending on how they do it, it could be decent.
Yeah, but to me that feels like the only fault that I had with Breaking Bad, the last season, which I won't ruin for you, Thea, because you should watch that show, is that
I did. I'm done.
Did you? Okay, good.
So then, spoiler alert, everybody.
It's not what's sort of a spoiler, but they introduced Nazis like in the last tail end to kind of have some.
And
sort
then
of
they
villains.
become the most.
Yeah, but they didn't focus on them really.
Well, I remember seeing.
I mean, that nephew kid became pretty prominent.
Right.
Yeah, but no, that's like an example of what I'm saying, where like there's a show, it's going along, all of a sudden they're like, oh, this new element is the most important thing out of nowhere.
So that's what happened with Breaking Bad, and that's kind of like what's happening here. So hopefully they'll take care of that. It seems like they're going to take care of that in the next 2 episodes. And
they only have like 2 episodes. They better.
It's like how many episodes is the season for?
Because it's 13 episodes altogether. Yeah, 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So we got 4 more episodes.
We got 4 left.
Wrap it up good.
The most upsetting.
And the next one's the Stevie Nicks episode.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks, who we didn't even talk about.
I love her character.
Lily Rabe.
Lily Rabe was part of a religious, I wouldn't say cult, but a religious kind of sect of people that lived out in the backwoods, or is it the boondocks, I'd say. Yeah. And they found out she had the power of resurgence, which is to, you can bring people back to life. That kind of fucks with how the show is, that anybody can be brought back to life.
Yeah, that part is
it takes away a little bit from being actual.
It gives it a bit of a hero's.
Although I'm glad they did bring back certain characters. I was very happy that they brought back what's her face, the one with the glasses.
Frances Conroy?
Yeah, Frances Conroy is fucking great in this season.
I love her.
I didn't even make the connection that was her playing.
She's always completely different.
She's awesome. I mean, I'll always know her from like 6 Feet Under because that's where I first saw her. But awesome. The Angel of Death thing was awesome.
Yeah. So they know how to utilize her. She's really good in this. The only thing that I felt bad about this whole season so far is Alexandra Breckenridge only shows up in 1 episode.
Oh,
which one is that?
The redhead girl that Sarah
Paulson. Yeah, she's so hot. She's so hot.
Oh my god! Wait, go watch the first season, Danny.
You still haven't watched first season.
I know. I heard she's in it so much that I wanted more than ever.
I literally when I saw her on the screen, it's like my day got better. That's how pathetic. I was like, oh my god, she's so... I'm sure
there's just like he paused it and just stared at the screen.
I did. You're a grab
cleaner. She is so hot. I gotta say, Lily, however you say her name, the hippie one that brings people back to life. Like, I love seeing her in this role because I can't picture her as anything but Satan.
Yeah, right. But
she's fantastic this season.
Guess it's
I love that she's in it more.
I guess it's kind of the way that a certain person that's listening or talking on this episode right now likes Michonne, with that's kind of like how we see Alexandra Breckenridge because she's so gorgeous. But anyway, so I'm trying to figure out. There's a bunch of witches everywhere, right? Or women that have latent powers that don't know about it. because it seems like this coven only has 4 people in it.
Well, they're being weeded out by the generations.
Okay, and we do get to see some cool flashbacks of whoever is playing Fiona when she's younger.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like what's her name? That South African actress who played in
Her name is Riley Volkel.
I bet she looks like that actress from Arrested Development, the one that played the mentally retarded young woman.
Oh, Rita Blakemore. I know who you're talking about.
Well, anyway, that girl from Aeon Flux, Monster. Anybody know who that actress is?
Charlize Theron?
She looks like Charlize Theron a little bit.
A little bit, I guess.
And we see her kind of rise to power.
Wait, it's not Rita Blakemore. That's a character from The Stand.
Very good.
Yeah, you're making shit
It's
up.
Rita something from Arrested Development.
So anyway, there we get to see how Hansen or the what's his name again? The bum.
It's Spalding.
Spalding has in love with her. Although I didn't like that they kind of threw in that Spalding when he had Melissa Montgomery's body. Like, it just seemed so stupid. Like that he's putting her up in baby doll clothes and having tea with her.
He's just
honestly, there's a lot of storylines this season that I just have not liked.
It kind of seemed like they put that in there just to be like edgy or creepy.
No, I'll tell you what.
I didn't really like the Axeman stuff either.
They have all these ideas, but they don't. They want to get them all in. That's the problem with
What happened to the Axeman? Did he just vanish or something, or she left without him there?
I don't know.
He's just like a spirit. I didn't quite understand what the deal was.
The Axeman is played by Danny something or other. He's a really good fucking actor. Like everything.
He's the guy that's in
Danny Houston.
X-Men Origins who plays Colonel Stryker.
Right. He's Danny Houston. He was also in I think 28 Days Later. That movie about where they were in Alaska with vampires.
30 Days a Night.
30 Days a Night. Yeah. I think he played the head vampire in that one.
He did.
Oh really? Okay.
He's just a really really good actor, and I like seeing him. And I like how
I like his face. It looks like you want to squeeze in like cute
grab his
come out of
cheeks,
his cheeks.
That's exactly what I think.
But he looks like Cupid, all right. But he plays like this. They throw in this little 1940s, or is it 1920s? Some era around there. He plays this serial killer, sort of based on a true thing where a serial killer.
Yeah, I was reading about the real Axemen. He really did make a thing in the news. You gotta have jazz music or I'll kill you, and they really did play jazz.
But they never caught him anyway, I think. But he plays a sort of love interest for Fiona because she feels like she's decaying and she needs some sort of release. And they were about to get her killed because she ended up getting Frances Conroy's character set up. And now we have Gabby Sidibe's character. She's it's funny because when we put this episode on YouTube, we don't have any of the characters named. People really bitch at us, so tough shit.
Tough shit. Watch the show.
Okay, wait. So, question about the most recent episode.
Okay.
Queenie's dead, isn't she?
Which one's Queenie?
No, I don't think so.
Gabby Sidibe, isn't she dead?
No,
because she shot herself.
She can't die from blowing her own brains out.
They interviewed her on something, and she was like, "Oh, there's gonna be this great stuff in the next episode." So I'm pretty sure she's alive.
She's not dead. She got shot in the stomach.
But then is she invincible too? That just doesn't make any sense.
I think when he shot her
herself.
I think when he shot her, she's not gonna die. She shot herself. She can't die.
She can't die.
As long as she inflicts the damage on herself, she's not going to get hurt. But that guy shooting her.
I do like her character, and I like her friendship with Marie Laveau, who's now just a head on a platter. I like what they're doing with Kathy. What the hell's her name?
Kathy Bates. I don't like that.
Griffin.
I don't like that Queenie betrayed them just because she's black and that woman took advantage of her. I don't like that.
It's reverse racism, Danny. Now you whiteys are getting it. So
yeah.
I don't know if showing.
Danny doesn't like when it's directed at him.
I don't know that showing a bunch of movies about horrors against African Americans are gonna turn somebody's with 5 hours of a movie is gonna turn. This
it worked on
racist.
Alex from Clockwork Orange.
She was busy making but she was busy putting Minotaur heads on guys' bodies, and which I don't understand because. Let's say, remember that Minotaur guy, which is fucking cool for a second, although that seemed like that was a number one version of trying to throw in a scene that seemed for no reason when he fucks Gabby Sidibe's character. She wants the Minotaur to fuck her.
Yeah.
That's the top one. I was like, what's this about? But I guess
she was horny for some bull.
I guess he wanted some regular dong. So I mean, they just put a Minotaur heads on him. They didn't cut his head off and put a Minotaur on him, but then he became like a Minotaur man. So that doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
She brought him back as a Minotaur to inflict revenge on Kathy Bates.
No, I get that. I'm just saying. I'm just being a scientific.
But why bring him back as a Minotaur?
Yeah, she could have.
Because I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
I mean, they throw in a lot of stuff in here, like zombies now, and all that other shit. Hopefully they'll stay away from the aliens because they have no place in here. But what do you guys think so far? How the series is going? What are the good parts of the show individually, Thea, and what are the bad parts of the show that you think that they can work on?
I think they have a pretty good core. Like the Coven itself is interesting. I like the dynamic between the Coven and Angela Bassett's character, Marie Laveau. I'm honestly interested to see how they play out the witch hunter thing. I think that could be more interesting than what they have been doing, which is rehashing the same beats over and over and over again, which is just the Supreme and the two Covens versus each other, and then the Frankenstein thing, which is I'm frankly just so sick of it. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, it kind of seems that Evan Peters' role. Hopefully they sped it up. I mean, that he could have been fixed by the third episode. And
I mean, I guess he's sort of normal now that Fiona's had her way with him. So
he's been reading, children's books, learning the word dog and stuff. That's good.
And all it took was Fiona to come in and be like, "I made him better. He's good."
That was great when he twisted the dog's head off. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta say the funniest part to me is when Kathy Bates was shocked because Obama was president. That had to be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I could not stop laughing. But so you're saying the worst parts are basically they're just recycling the same story of what's going on and throwing
like hitting the same notes over and over, and I'm kind of ready for them to move on to something else.
So you think the second one is still above this in terms of?
I just finished rewatching the second season.
Okay.
So it's pretty fresh again, and I still love it as much as I did.
And what do you think it is, or at least the positive points of this season so far?
I really, really like the three, main women, Kathy Bates, Jessica Lange, Angela Bassett. The three of them, seeing them play off of each other is amazing. And now that they're bringing them all in one house, basically.
Yeah.
It's so funny because as soon as I heard that, because I know the avatar for your Horror Harbor site is horrorharbor.tumblr.com is Kathy Bates' character from Misery. So I was like, once I heard she was cast, I was like, yeah, Thea's gonna fucking love this.
Misery was just on the other day. I watched it again. It was great.
So good.
You know what brings me misery? Danny, you do. So Danny, what do you think are the best and worst parts of this season?
I think the worst parts is what I said. The writers are scatterbrained, and definitely the witch hunter thing is kind of boring to me unless they do it really good.
Yeah, that's why I equated it to the Breaking Bad thing. But what's the best part for you so far?
I just love the whole vibe. It's so because the second season was all serious and there's so much happening. This is just a funny kind of bitchy version of witches. It's funny. It's
it is less serious. They're having a little more fun again.
I like when you could tell that people are having fun and stuff, and it's not meant to be taken so seriously. It's kind of silly.
Right before the show started, and I heard what the premise was, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be a thing about witches." I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "I really didn't." I was like, "I don't really give a shit about witches or anything like that. Not real people that practice Wiccans, What I mean, but as a show."
He is racist against your religion, ladies.
Although I did love The Craft. I fucking love that movie, and I really liked The Lords of Salem. Although that's a completely different vision of what witches are.
I still haven't seen it, but
I'm
going
Lords
to.
of Salem, yeah. But that's like a film, old school. Those witches worship Satan in that movie, and they don't in real life.
I like these kinds of witches. The fact that Fiona's not racist and she's kind of nice in a weird way.
Yeah, no, I like the witches in this one too. It feels. This is basically a really sexy, dirty version of a soap opera that you can watch and not feel oh, this is totally chick shit. It's not One Life to Live or something like that. And I like how the show flows. So let's just get into some...
Who's in Lucci forever?
Let's see some... what are you guys' predictions on stuff? What do you think is going to happen to the Axeman? Do you think he's going to be exorcised out of the house or something? It kind of seems like they don't need him anymore. He's just going to vanish, but...
He's going to go live with his sister, Angelica.
Anyway, I think
they're going to keep him around as some kind of plot device and then throw him in at the last second for some reason.
Yeah, what's weird because that was one plot thing that pissed me off in the old one was when the doctor threw himself in the oven, the incinerator with Lily Rabe's character. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's...
I don't know, that kind of made sense to me.
I mean, it made sense, but it kind of came out of left field, but I guess that's what they were going for. Madison Montgomery is obviously getting upset that Taissa is getting more closer and closer to Evan Peters' character, the Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. So I guess they're going to see something happen from that. What are you guys going to...
Who do we think is going to be the Supreme?
I think it is going to be what's her face, the one that can bring people back from the dead.
You think it's going to be? I think that's too obvious because they think that.
Or it's going to be the main girl who came.
I'm guessing it's Tessa.
What about the girl with the Down syndrome? You don't think she might be it?
Nah.
Or Gabby Sidibe's character? Because it seems like they might throw it in out of left field.
I mean, the girl that I can't ever remember her name, but the main girl that came in the beginning.
Zoe.
She knocked down Angela Bassett when she was doing the zombies. Remember,
true. Yeah, right.
So she's like really strong.
That's my guess why it's her.
Did you guys like that small plot point with the abusive mother who gave her son a comet enema?
Yeah, that was hot.
And he's like in love with the girl with Down syndromes because it's Hollywood. There's also, I mean, they brought back Myrtle Snow from the dead, so I mean, they're just bringing back everybody from the dead. So I assume that they're gonna try to get rid of Misty May pretty soon, and because Sarah Paulson's character looked like she was a bit offended that Misty May is chosen to be the new Supreme. Like you saw that, you know, you totally see her face, you read it on her face. And now that her husband's dead, whether they're gonna bring him back or not, I don't know. I doubt they're gonna bring him back. I think he's just.
Do you think she's gonna blind herself again and try and get the sight back?
That's what I think. I mean, I was I was sad that they killed the old gay guy that was one of the council guys because that guy's funny. Like for some reason, I know him from a lot of stuff. I know him from a lot of stuff, but I don't know where he's, what's his name, but he was fucking funny in that role, playing that kind of bitchy Elton John kind of character.
I couldn't believe that she was like, all of a sudden Myrtle's like chopping him up like an insane person.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit out of character, but then I realized she knew that they were setting her up to get killed anyway, that she said that. I thought that was very important that she did say that. And when she popped out that lady's eye, I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, I did not expect that to happen. That was pretty grotesque. But then when they showed the picture on Tumblr, it looked really horribly cheap. But I think Cordelia Fox, that's Sarah Paulson's character, I think you're right. It's probably going to be her or Zoe as the Supreme. Fiona's definitely going to get killed. I mean, there's no question about it. She's a shithead.
But no, they'll probably keep her around until the very end.
What do you think's going to happen to Kathy Bates' Delphine Lalaurie?
I hope they sew her body onto Kit's shoulder.
A two-headed ex-racist Frankenstein.
Oh, Jesus.
Spalding is now back as a ghost, although I would figure a lot of people that died would come back as ghosts. I don't know. Oh, he's special. That's right. Since he's a protector, he can come back as a ghost, which is kind of anybody who dies can come back on this show. Are there any
sexy ghost?
Are there any things that you guys want to see happen on the show?
I want to see it get wrapped up in a way that's not stupid.
Yeah, that's ditto.
So, what are the ratings for this season so far? The first 9 episodes of American Horror Story Coven, which has a fucking amazing opening credit sequence. So
it does.
Thumbs up. They're really good with that, especially that creature that's in the fucking forest. That's like obviously CG, but it looks amazing.
Yeah,
Sophia,
with the bat wings.
Yeah, Sophia, what's your rating on this season so far?
I'm gonna give it 7.5 out of 10 Mossy Banks because I still miss that title.
Just Little Gash.
I miss the Mossy Bank.
All right, fine. We'll call it the Mossy Bank. It has
no. You should call it the Little Gash.
Thea's just being an asshole to you. So for me, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So I like it a lot, and I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Fuck it, 9 out of 10.
All right.
But look at this asshole. Can't even make up his difference.
He doesn't even know.
I'm enjoying it a lot. So far, it's keeping me interested. So I'll give it 8 out of 10. Having a 3-way with a dead person and a girl that can kill you with her vagina.
Okay. I'm going to give it an 8.1 out of 10. Red poofy hair lady scooping out guys' eyes with an ice cream scooper.
Yes. So Matt, so you're going to see who's going to be visiting Misty May soon? What's her name? That singer?
What are you talking about?
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks will be on the show soon, and she did a really great song that was about heroin and falling out of love. So, with that, please continue watching American Horror Story Coven. It's great.
Yes.
So far, I do like it. I think it's more cohesive and much more straighter and narrow than the second season was. But the second season still is great because it is very period and noir, and I like noir. It has more elements to it. First seasons, these are both better than the first season, but if I had to rank them so far, I like the second just slightly above the third, but the third is kind of gaining up on it. Anyway, please visit Thea at horrorharbor.tumblr.com. Visit us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com. And Danny, What's the final word?
Don't you have to ask Thea also first?
I thought that was for her month.
Oh, okay.
So Thea, what's your final word? Fucking Danny.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Danny,
okay.
what's the final word?
Crusty anal flowers.
Oh, Jesus. Don't tell me this girl heard that.
I don't think she was listening that time.
Oh, God.
Good.
She's gonna tell us to never talk with us ever again. Thanks, Danny.